Once on a pairing, you need not be as concerned with making sure you're by your telephone, nor are you required to be back at the airport by a certain time, other than the report time of your pairing. Scheduling can contact you either by cell phone or your hotel room phone in accordance with the limits of Section 5D2 of the contract, but you need not concern yourself with making sure you are phone available during layover periods. How long can you be on duty as a reserve pilot? Please don't try to memorize these. We just want you to know that there are some rules to protect you and that you know where to find them. See Section 8E5 of the contract when needed. If unassigned, your reserve availability period, or RAP, can go to a maximum of 14 hours. Once assigned on a RAP, your duty day is the most restrictive of either 15 hours from the start of the RAP or Table B of FAR 117 plus 4 hours, using report time of the assigned pairing as scheduled start time for Table B, beginning at the start of the RAP, or the maximum duty period actual, beginning at report time of assigned pairing, as defined by the chart in Section 5D2F of the contract. Also note that during irregular operations, a reserve may deadhead up to 1 hour beyond the 15-hour duty day limit. Once on a pairing and not on a RAP, for instance on day 2 or later of a multi-day pairing, your RAP time is no longer considered for duty day limit calculations, since you are not required to be phone available while on the pairing, so a duty day then is governed by 5D2F. For a handy Part 117 reference guide, be sure to check the SWAPA iPad app. After completing a pairing on reserve and returning to domicile, a reserve pilot must contact scheduling. At that time, one of 3 things will occur. The pilot will either be given another assignment, continued on duty. If unassigned and with more days remaining in the reserve block, he will be released no later than 8 hours after that day's report time, or no later than 7 hours from report time if on the last day of a block, released to rest or released from the reserve block. In accordance with 8D9 of the CBA, a pilot on a reserve assignment cannot be reassigned into an unscheduled overnight once he has returned to base on the last day of the reserve block. However, you may be offered the option of an assignment into an unscheduled overnight on the last day of a reserve block for a premium pay. If a reserve has not yet returned to his domicile on the last day of a reserve block, he may be reassigned into an unscheduled overnight. However, scheduling is supposed to consider all other options prior to placing a reserve on an unscheduled overnight. If this occurs, you may choose to drop another reserve day later in the month, provided it's the first or last day of a block. You may drop a day in the following month if the current block is the last one of the month. Note that you will receive JA pay for any duty period after the unscheduled overnight. Frequently, the extra duty period is only a deadhead back to your domicile. If this is the case after an unscheduled overnight and getting home right away is a priority, you may want to consider getting released from the deadhead leg or legs as soon as you get to your hotel room. This is because, while resting, you might be seen by the company's SkySolver automated system as another way to cover uncovered flying once your required rest period is over. If you are released before scheduling sees a need for you to fly more, the possibility of further flying no longer exists. However, keep in mind, if you get released from scheduled deadheads, you will be giving up your confirmed seat back to domicile, and you must make your own non-rev or jump seat arrangements for getting home. Another difference on the last day of a reserve block is a restriction concerning pairings that include a deadhead back to the domicile. Scheduling must not schedule a reserve on a pairing that would give him less than 30 minutes connect time for the last flight that would return the pilot to domicile. Projected times rather than originally scheduled times may be used for same-day operations. However, this may be waived if the deadhead flight is scheduled on the same aircraft that the reserve is already on. Under the TA, pilots can be released from that deadhead under clearer circumstances. The pilots may only request release once they arrive at the outstation where the deadhead is scheduled to depart. Upon arrival back in domicile, the pilot must have been on duty for greater than 9 hours. And finally, the pilot will only be released if they are not reassigned to another trip from the domicile, the outstation, or if pilots are being asked to remain on their deadheads in accordance with Section 5S4. On the last day of a reserve block, if the reserve pilot is not assigned to a pairing, he will be released after the first 7 hours of his RAP. This release is automatic and there is no need to call scheduling to be released. However, if the reserve pilot is assigned to a pairing, normal reserve duty day limits apply in accordance with Section 8E5A of the CBA. Reserve pilots will not be scheduled to block in past 17:30 domicile time, except under certain circumstances listed in 8E6B of the CBA. Under these circumstances, premium pay would apply to all legs that block in past 17:30 domicile time. Month-to-month overlap can create a 6-day reserve block, but you can designate one night as a non-RON. You must make the request with scheduling by 0900 on the 24th. See Section 5I2L for details.
Thanks again for watching. We hope this video has helped answer some of your reserve questions. When concerns on reserve arise, please consult Section 5 and 8 of the CBA. As always, please feel free to email your domicile rep with any questions you have. During office hours, you can also call SWAPA Contract Admin at 214-722-4200. And for time-critical issues only, they can also be reached after hours 24/7. Thanks again for watching, and fly safely.